Well, hello and welcome. We got ourselves another game for review today, and it was one of the better games in terms of the end game play from said student. Solid game, and then he lost the advantage in the middle, and then he pulled it back and converted an end game. This is the reverse of the typical pattern for the student. So something very interesting happened here. We're gonna have to investigate. I'm a little surprised. But so far, all of this, I mean, he's just mastered the opening now. But little improvements day by day, but still not quite perfect. This is the subtle one, the subtle defender. This is still a little bit too offy, right? Because this is loose. So yeah, but black not taking advantage of it. So white having enough time to reduce the pressure. And now how does white play here? I would be very interested to see what white does here, because these are the difficult moves. When things have already developed and it's nothing much left to do, then how do you actually play? You don't want to play a move like this because it's blocking your own bishop. You might be worried about this, but you should recognize that you have this move right away. The pieces are undeveloped. That's a fact. Bishop is difficult to figure out how to develop it because here he blocks the pawn. This is a when in doubt kind of place to develop it. But we also have to keep in mind that this pawn is still a bit loose, so actually there's some looseness over here that needs to be dealt with. That's the real crux of the position. I forgot about that. So perhaps you do have to actually advance it. How else do you manage this? You would love to have a queen right over here to just hold everything steady, but queen can also come here. That's true. Maybe that's the best move. I don't know. Okay, no, pawn push was the best move after all. Not an easy one, and this perhaps. Okay, maybe he thought he'll do this, but you have to keep in mind this. A very interesting sequence of play, and mostly pretty solid play from both sides. Pretty solid play from both sides. I personally would not have thought knight out is the best move. I would have actually thought this is the right way to handle this position, because it gets so much more chance that you'll get this isolated pawn here. But I don't know. Computer likes this one, so I'm not going to argue. Now it's interesting. So it's a balanced position, totally even, but the stronger player is likely to win, basically. I think white should just keep it simple, develop. Well, he has to think of his plan. Plan might be to muscle in some pawns here for the end stage, but right now he's got 3 heavy pieces all on the back rank, so there's no way you're going to make a queen. So the game is really still happening in the middle of the game. Perhaps just this much up to pawn here is sufficient, but perhaps it's worthwhile to play it anyway to put the pressure on. Knight, it would be tempting to try to maneuver him there, but as long as the queen's here, not going to be so easy. Queen up here, I thought about it and still could seem interesting, but there is a risk that the queen will be harassed. A lot of interesting possibilities, and rook there, very sensible and can't go wrong kind of a move. Now black made a weird move. Weird move is something to attack. Weird move must be attack it immediately. Attack it. The queen is there, and boom! He snapped it up. snapped it up, and the pressure is going to start piling up now. I think a simple knight back here, defending and attacking at the same time, while giving your queen a potential target or a better improvement square. I think that's the right way to go. Not done, not quite. A little improvement could have been done there. This was a better square. Okay. Yeah, so this must have been one of those harder moves. What did he? Rook up here is not an easy move to spot, I admit. I mean, the idea is that the knight comes here and your rook is ready to recapture, and you can just worry about what you can take this pawn, and if he captures, you take back. Queen there is a bit of, I'm not sure what it is doing, kind of a move. Not sure, because this is also free now. But he's not taking advantage of it. So a big mess there. Some not so great moves here at this point in the game, but Black finally takes his shot. Finally takes a shot, and this must surely rattle the student. How is he gonna react here? I think he's likely to go double tango on him. No, he doesn't. No. This is it's a smart move. Tessio is always smarter. Okay, so Black could have captured here and allowed White to capture here and let it get a bit chaotic, I suppose, but he opted instead for this, which is not optimal. And White just hitting the queen, really. White trying to retain some control of the position, not wanting to let things get out of hand. I'm not in favor of the queen trade here. Of course, it's better from a practical standpoint. So from that perspective, this was great. You've only got a minute left. You can't handle the pressure of a queen. It's just too much. So very practical choice to reduce material so that you can play faster. Reduce material so you can play faster. So I like that. And wow, this is not an easy move. I mean, a rook here instead, that's some sort of pro level sacrifice that you're gonna allow him to go here, check him, push him in there, and then come here and mate him or something. What? Is that how it's gonna go? You can't even allow it. So we have to check it with computer. Over here and rook b7 check, king h8, and oh, gg7, gg7 with a. It's a draw actually after this. It's not a win. So it's kind of I prefer the approach, the fighter approach, which white is a fighter, and white is fighting to stay in the game here. Black has a lot of menacing threats. This is not an easy position to handle, but well handled. Short on time, but he still manages to find a move. And he's trying to make that knight tricky. He knows he needs a tricky knight, and the knight has gone way into low man's zone here, hoping for some kind of a miracle, some kind of a magical thing. But it's very tricky position now for both sides, and neither side able to play precisely here. You can't fault them for that. But White, I have to say, White hasn't done enough to really handle the pressure of this shit. Double check, triple check, okay, and he doesn't get the draw. So Black playing on for the win. Black playing on for the win here, and white gonna make a comeback. Now. Oh, there's a big snapping opportunity here with the rook check, capture, and then you win back the pawn. I think that's the line. And he plays it. But not the right follow-up. Not the right follow-up. He goes for too much. Trying to do something that wasn't there to be done, and he had a lot of seconds. He spent seconds on it and trying to be a GM that one wasn't meant to be. But now he does take it, and it's an even position. So after a lot of fight, it's back to even, and now Black is just collapsing here, and he just collapses, makes a blunder, and that's all that it took. Wow, what a game! What a fighting game. We have to give it some credit, but let's also find something to learn from here. We saw the opening, and we think he played it relatively well. He did the tango dance quite nicely. He capitalized on the loose piece. It didn't defend precisely here. I wonder how long he took to make this move. About 30 seconds. Got to see this other option. Anyway, a few nothing moves here. Middle game, nothing moves. Middle game, nothing moves. Middle game, nothing moves is okay, but it's practical choice. I like the practical queen trade. I like that he showed fight with his knight. Even if it was not a perfect piece, and it was not a perfectly played piece. There was fight. There was an attempt to be dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous. Okay. Well, good game overall, and yeah, it was fun chess.